Dear Sagittarius, there is a truth that even seasoned mystics hesitate to speak aloud, that some souls do not need spells to make manipulators of dark power tremble in silence. And the paradox is, those souls often wear the form of dreamers, of wanderers who seem to chase only freedom and joy. But no one tells you that it is your honesty, your blunt truthfulness, and your once broken heart that become the very weapons darkness cannot ignore. If you are a Sagittarius, you are not just carrying a zodiac sign. You carry an ancient imprint, the kind that once made sorcerers retreat without understanding why. Because you did not come here to control anyone. You came to remind them of the truth they've long forgotten. Have you ever wondered why some people avoid your gaze, even when you've never spoken a word of judgment? Why some come close, only to walk away soon after? Not because you did anything wrong, but because your light made them feel ashamed of their own shadows. You didn't realize it, but your eyes once touched the darkness inside them and left it with nowhere to hide. Sagittarius is not here to plant fear. You simply live truthfully, love honestly, and feel deeply. But in a world of illusions, that truth alone is unbearable to those who survive by deceit. They call you an adventurer, someone who never settles. But no one knows. You carry a silent vow inside. I will not turn a blind eye to deception. I will not let wrongness pass, not even through a silent glance. And maybe that is why your life has not been easy. You've been misunderstood, you've been left behind, you've been called too blunt, too distant, too untamed. But do you know what? That's not punishment. That's selection. Not everyone is entrusted with the task of making darkness face its own reflection. Not through curses, not through fire, but through light, from a soul unafraid of truth. And here is what you must remember today. If someone walks away from you, the moment you begin living more honestly, it is not a loss. It is a cleansing. When your soul begins to shine more brightly, those not resonating at your frequency will naturally withdraw, not because you're wrong, but because you're beginning to remember who you really are. If you've ever seen someone shiver next to you, if you've ever stepped into a room and felt the air shift, if you've dreamed of strange symbols, maybe you're not crazy. Maybe you're awakening a gift your ancestors passed on. The gift of recognizing untruthful souls, no matter how well they disguise themselves. Sagittarius, you are the guardian of the gate of light, the threshold between what is real and what is false, between awakening and illusion. Not because you're perfect, but because you have the courage to face what no one else dares to see. You don't need to be worshipped. You only need to remember. Light never asks for permission to exist. It only needs a place to radiate. And that place is your heart. Write this beneath the video as a vow to the universe. I do not fear the dark, because I am the flame it cannot consume. For years I have studied ancient apocalyptic texts, spoken with mystics around the world, and followed the threads of a truth powerful enough to reshape your entire understanding of yourself. Hidden among sacred scrolls and buried spiritual maps is one warning rarely spoken aloud. There is a zodiac sign that ancient witches, from Europe to the East, were told never to provoke. A name which, when whispered in sacred rituals, would cause energies to tremble. And that name was always at the top of the list: Sagittarius. This is no coincidence. The universe led you here, not out of curiosity, but because your soul is beginning to remember something sacred. You've always known there was something different about you. Not a visible talent, not a praised intelligence, but a light no one could ever replicate. An energy that made those who carry darkness unable to stay in your presence for long. You thought they left because you were too blunt. But the truth is, they were afraid. They're afraid. Afraid that you see what they've been trying to hide. Afraid that the light within you will shatter the enchanted structures they've built through manipulation. You don't need to study magic, yet you carry an innate power, strong enough to melt every false layer just by being present. Have you noticed this? When you walk into shady projects, things begin to break down. When you meet someone who isn't sincere, they often lose their sense of direction after leaving your presence. When you appear, toxic plans start to crack. This is no coincidence. It's the effect of a soul that lives in truth in a world full of masks. Sagittarius is not the one who bends reality with complex rituals. You are the one who sees reality clearly. and refuses to be manipulated by it. And that is what makes you dangerous to those who seek to control the world through deception. You don't need to chant spells, don't need supportive objects. You only need to speak the truth, and entire walls of lies can collapse. And now, you are about to enter another journey, one that will change how you see yourself. No longer just a wanderer or someone too elusive to grasp, as others once called you, but someone who holds the key to liberate souls that have been bound. In the realm of sorcery, when a witch wants to perform a ritual, she must summon energy, channel spirits, and reshape reality to her will. But you, Sagittarius, your soul moves freely between layers of reality without opening any door. You don't need power, because the truth you live is already the strongest invocation. And that is why they fear you. Because you don't control others with power. You reflect the truth and force them to face themselves. And now that you're beginning to realize this, prepare yourself. There will be those who try to make you doubt your own truth. There will be moments that test your light, with loneliness, with betrayal. But you must know, the guardian of light is always tested by fire. Not to be burned, but to shine brighter. Write this down as a sacred affirmation. I don't need to be believed to speak the truth. I don't need to be praised to live in alignment with my light. Let us begin unveiling the hidden truths, one by one. The first reason those who practice mystic arts avoid you, Sagittarius, is not because of what you do, but because of what you sense, even though no one ever taught you how to feel it. You can see what lies beneath a fake smile. You can hear the dissonance in a blessing laced with control. And your heart, it reacts like a compass that spins every time something is out of alignment. This is not imagination. This is spiritual survival instinct accumulated across lifetimes. Others call it intuition. But for you, it is the first wall of light. A witch, or anyone who uses energy to manipulate, relies on surprise. But when they approach you, Sagittarius, their true self is exposed before they even begin their ritual. You don't need to catch them. You only need to look. And your gaze makes them feel seen. They're not afraid of your magic. They're afraid you know the truth they're hiding. That's why they avoid you. They can't control you, and they can't manipulate someone who doesn't need to believe in anything to see what's real. The second reason you are a forbidden zone to those who practice dark magic lies in your elemental nature. Fire. People think fire is easily extinguished, but no one tells you that the fire of truth cannot be put out if it's lit from within. You don't use fire to destroy, you use it to illuminate. And that is why dark rituals lose their power in your presence. They cannot survive in the light of someone who lives authentically. Have you ever noticed? After walking under the sun, you feel lighter? After a genuine laugh, your mind feels clear, as if no negativity can touch you? That's your inner fire, cleansing everything without needing an audience. And those who practice the dark arts know this well. Light cannot be controlled, so they don't choose to confront those who carry it. And there is something even deeper that makes them tremble. Your ability to walk between worlds. You don't dream randomly. You dream to receive warnings. You dream to remember truths you once knew in other planes. Your dreams are maps, sent from higher realms to protect you before any attack can reach you. When someone sends darkness your way, your soul already receives a silent alert. And that is one of the strongest shields in existence. How many times have you woken up in the middle of the night with a sudden urge to cleanse your space? How many times have you distanced yourself from someone just because of an unclear feeling? These moments are not coincidences. They are the reflexes of your soul in motion. But that's not all. You were born with a dual essence, a thinker and a seer behind the veil. When someone tries to manipulate you, your energy doesn't fight back. It withdraws, redirects, and dissolves. You once thought you were inconsistent, but that is an ancient defense mechanism, never staying still long enough for any spell to find its mark. And this is one of the things witches fear the most. You don't need to do anything to protect yourself. Your authentic presence, your natural compassion, and your ability to transform pain into insight have already become a divine shield. Those who use dark energy thrive on control. But you choose forgiveness. You don't respond with vengeance. You ask, what kind of pain must a person carry to want to harm another? And the moment you ask that question, dark magic loses its grip. Because you don't fight it, you rise above it. Write this under the video as a call to awaken the power that has been asleep within you. I do not fight with anger. I do not attack with magic. I protect with compassion, with light that needs no spell, with truth that requires no proof. Sincere compassion might look like softness to others, but to you, Sagittarius, it is an impenetrable wall of energy. Those who work in darkness often channel anger, envy, and fear to guide energy. But when they aim those waves at you, they shatter against the unconditional love you never stop holding. Maybe you've never realized this, but the love you carry for truth, for freedom, for the human soul, is a sacred armor that no dark magic can break. Because dark sorcery can only manipulate what is wounded. And you don't fight with weapons. You fight with light. And even deeper within you, there is a sacred balance. You do not belong to just one energetic gender. You hold within you the sharpness of the sun and the intuition of the moon. Your fire knows how to listen. Your heart knows how to ask the right questions. And that makes you immune to being encoded by any form of spell. While a sorcerer studies structures to cast enchantments, you shift, you adapt, you fly high, you dive deep, in ways no one can predict. You are an arrow with no fixed map, yet you always land on truth. No spell is agile enough to keep up with a soul that never stops evolving. And now, we approach the heart of the revelation, the part passed down through generations, about a kind of person whose presence alone is enough to make dark energy lose its footing. You, Sagittarius, are that kind. You don't need tarot cards, crystal balls, or elaborate rituals to know what's happening. You know? Even before someone plans to deceive you, you don't guess, you feel it. And this makes manipulators feel exposed just standing near you. When they build a mask, you see through it. When they hide intentions in sweet words, your eyes already catch the misalignment. But what scares them even more is this. You don't need a reason to know. Truth doesn't come to you through logic. It lives within you, and you feel it in every breath, in every brush of intuition. The truth you carry is like primal light. It makes everything hidden retreat. That's why they avoid you. Because in your presence, everything false is stripped away, and souls who survive on illusion cannot stand it. But still, there is an even deeper revelation. You are not merely someone who lives in light. You are a channel of light from other planes of existence, a living gate, where streams of energy between the material world and the spirit world come into alignment. Unlike others who need deep meditation or lengthy rituals to connect, you only need a moment of stillness, a starry night, a pause in the forest, and you begin to hear what others don't even know how to ask. That is what makes you frightening to them, because you don't summon power. You were born with it running through your blood. You are not just a seeker. You are the one chosen to carry light through what was once forgotten. And now, if you've made it this far, I invite you to write this down, not as a declaration, but as a homecoming. I am the gate between two worlds. I do not need to fight, I only need to be. Dark magic can only exist in spaces built on mimicry, control, and disguise. But when they encounter you, Sagittarius, every model of manipulation becomes useless. Because you are not a formula to be recreated, you are the original. No one can copy a light that has been forged through lifetimes of choosing forgiveness over revenge. They, the witches, the energy workers, may study sorcery for decades. But you carry within you the cleansed inheritance of your ancestors. Every time you forgave when you could have retaliated, every time you chose truth over safety, every time you refused to walk into the dark just to be accepted, an invisible shield formed around your soul. This is not spiritual delusion. This is the legacy built by the souls who came before you, activated every time you choose to live aligned with light. And that is why anyone who dares to attack you is not only confronting you, they are confronting an entire legion of light silently standing by your side. Imagine this. Someone using energy to manipulate tries to blow a toxic wind your way, but instead of it sinking in, it is absorbed by the deep emotional wisdom within you and transmuted into understanding. That is what they fear, not because you fight them, but because you make the darkness inside them begin to unravel. Have you ever noticed that someone came to you in anger but left with softer eyes? That someone once saw you as a threat, but later sought you out silently when their world began to collapse. That is not a coincidence. It is the response of their soul to the healing energy you release without even trying. Witches, if they ever tried to approach you to manipulate, soon discovered that simply being in your energy field was enough to destabilize the entire dark system they spent years constructing. Because you do not merely protect, you reactivate the light they tried to bury. And that is what frightens them most. Not because you oppose them, but because near you, they are forced to face what they've spent a lifetime avoiding, themselves. And now comes the final revelation. The secret not everyone is ready to hear. You don't have to do anything to protect yourself. Simply living in rhythm with your heart, aligned with your soul, honoring your light, is enough to render darkness powerless. With every breath you take, light is already at work. In every moment you choose not to retaliate, your spiritual guide stands silently at your side. When you dream, when you are quiet, when you smile gently through your pain, you are activating a complete spiritual purification without any ritual at all. And when you truly understand this, you'll stop calling yourself a victim. You'll stop living to avoid pain. You'll realize, every time you rise above anger and choose compassion instead, you are doing sacred work. You are holding light alive in this world. And that transformation does not just affect you, it reaches the souls who are brave enough to stand near your light long enough to be touched by it. Write this down as a declaration connecting you to the truth of who you are. I do not need to prove my strength. I only need to exist as the light I was born to be. Those who work in darkness may never speak it aloud, but they feel it the moment a Sagittarius soul awakens to their true power. No longer the one easily hurt, easily softened, easily silenced out of fear of making others uncomfortable, but now a moving flame, a sacred force they cannot control, cannot manipulate, and will never extinguish. So Sagittarius, hold this truth in your heart. Never again doubt your value. Never dim your light just because someone is not ready to face the truth. You were not born to make others feel comfortable. You were born to awaken them. And from the moment you know this, your life will never be the same. No one and nothing will ever again make you forget your true soul. Because you don't just know you're strong, you understand why. And with that understanding comes a sacred responsibility to honor, not hide, the power entrusted to you. Think back for a moment. How many times have you felt too much, too sensitive, too intense? How many times have you thought your tender heart was a burden? That your blunt honesty, your passion, your truth were too much for someone to stay? But now you understand, those very things, those wildly sincere emotions, are your supernatural gift. Every time you cry, you're not weak. You are cleansing, not only yourself, but the energy around you. Every time you forgive someone undeserving, you create a wave of light that reaches places you'll never even know. That is the invisible healing force only awakened souls are capable of activating. But now, it's time. Not just to know, but to embody that truth in every choice you make. When you wake each morning, remind yourself, I carry within me a power that makes even the dark forces pause. When someone tries to make you doubt yourself, take a deep breath, not to respond, but to reconnect to the ocean of light within you, where no one else can reach. You don't have to brace yourself to be strong. True strength is holding compassion even when you know you have the power to destroy. You are fire, but a fire guided by wisdom, not by rage. You are a warrior, but a warrior of truth, not of revenge. Like an ocean that seems still on the surface, yet holds the strength to drown all that is false. Starting today, pay attention. Notice how your energy influences the space around you. Notice how those with hidden intentions begin to act differently when you arrive. Notice how many conversations strangely fall silent the moment you step in. Not because you are unwelcome, but because you are the breaker of illusions. And the truth, though rarely comfortable, is always necessary. Write this down as a commitment to the new version of yourself. I was not born to be understood. I was born to illuminate what has been buried. This is not paranoia. You're not overcomplicating things. This is your energy field operating exactly as it was designed. A finely tuned instrument of discernment coded into the soul through hundreds of lifetimes. Your aura, Sagittarius, is not just beautiful. It is a radar constantly scanning your environment, detecting energy that is not aligned with the truth you live. And here is what you must never forget. Knowing your strength does not mean using it to prove, to manipulate, or to make others fear. True strength is found in refusing to react the way others expect. When someone hurts you, you do not strike back. You withdraw, your light still intact. You don't need to shout that you've been wronged. Your withdrawal is its own response, not as hatred, but as a refusal to walk beside untruth. Think of the ocean. When someone throws a stone, the ocean does not retaliate. It simply receives it, dissolves it, and continues being itself. So do you. When someone throws negative energy your way, you do not respond with fire, you respond with depth. You absorb, you transform, and you continue on. But this is the revelation you are meant to hear. Now you know why some people avoid you. Because you make them feel the truth they don't want to face. Their eyes look away. Not because you are too powerful, but because you make them confront the part of themselves they've denied their entire lives. It's not rejection. It's your energy field doing its job, to separate and to protect. Not everyone who avoids you is a witch, but some souls are simply not ready to be near the light, and the light you carry is too real, too clear, too impossible to ignore. But in contrast, you'll witness something beautiful. Those who are truly seeking healing will be drawn to you. They will feel calmer in your presence. They will soften after every conversation with you. They will begin to remember the light within themselves simply by being in your frequency. And that is the moment you must do something essential. Rearrange your circle. Stop living to please those who think you are too much. Stop trying to be just enough for people who never intended to truly see you. You once apologized for being too sensitive. You once tried to tone it down, dim your fire, speak less truthfully, just to keep someone near. But now you know, light only irritates those who have lived too long in the dark. And truth never needs permission to be spoken. When you stop shrinking, the universe begins to rearrange everything. The right people will arrive. The right opportunities will unfold. The projects that once stalled will suddenly find momentum. Not because you changed what you do, but because your vibration has shifted. You no longer emit the signal of a soul in survival. You radiate the energy of someone living intentionally in their full power. And the universe is always listening to the frequency that comes from your heart. When you transmit the frequency of awakening, every gate will open at exactly the right time. Write this beneath the video as a sacred agreement between you and your soul. I do not dim my light so others will stay. I live in truth, and what is true will find me. But always remember, great power comes with sacred responsibility. You are not given this light to keep it for yourself. You are given it to shine for the souls lost in emotional darkness, to shine for those who've forgotten that they, too, were born with their own light. Be the lighthouse in an ocean full of confusion. Let the journey that once brought you pain now become wisdom that keeps others from drowning. Because sometimes, the story you survived is the map someone else was waiting for. And most of all, you are not alone. All around the world, there are Sagittarius souls just like you. Souls who were once misunderstood for the truths they carried. Souls who were once abandoned because of a light they could not dim. And now, they are remembering who they are. You are part of a cosmic family, connected by the fire of truth, protected by guardian angels whispering to you in your dreams each night. If these words have stirred something deep within you, if you finally feel seen, not through eyes but through energy, then your journey is no longer a solitary one. You have a mission, not to save the world, but to awaken the light still waiting for permission to shine. So if you know a Sagittarius living in doubt, someone who once made themselves small to be loved, a soul who thought their sensitivity was a weakness, send this video to them. Because maybe just one truth in this message will help them return to the radiant essence they were always meant to be. And don't leave just yet. The next video showing on your screen is not an accident. Click on it and continue your journey back to the version of you that is powerful, free, and fully awakened. Because your soul deserves to remember every ancient secret it was born to reclaim.